Oh, Geshe Dele, everyone. I welcome each and every one of you around the world to this prayer session that organized by FPMT Australia National Office, in particularly dedicated for Geshe Sherab's speedy recovery, Geshe-la's long life, and fulfillment of all Geshe-la's holy wishes accordingly. And also, I just received a few other lists, those who are also in the COVID patient who are in hospital, who are very much under ventilation or oxygen. Beside Geshe Thubten Sherab, Geshe Jimba, Tenzin Palmo, Tsiring Tashi, and Thubten Lamsam. And of course, everyone we know as FPMT office announced, there are so many nuns and monks in Kopan monastery, who are affected by the COVID situation. So we dedicate this prayer session for each and every one of them. And also we dedicate this prayer session to all the people that who are suffering, affected by this COVID situation around the world, in particularly in India and Nepal in this very stage, the catastrophic difficulties that going through, and also some other part of the world, even in the developed countries, even in the Europe, some countries who are experiencing similar kind of difficulties. Then we also dedicate this this session to all the frontliners, even in Kopan monastery, starting from our most precious guru, Kyabje Lama Sopa Rinpoche, who is daily generously and kindly offering a lot of prayers for the Kopan Sanghas, as well as for anyone that who are under this difficulty around the world. Then the Kopan manager team, both Kopan nunnery and monastery manager team, and the clinical team. Then the rest of the caretakers, nuns and monks, and all the other frontliners around the world during this COVID situation, those doctors, nurses, then the individual family members that who care for their loved ones who are COVID patients. So this is also sessions of solidarity to everyone around the world who are affected by the COVID crisis. Yeah, so so we try to conduct this practice in accordance with the Dharma practice, not only to be the cause and condition for temporary liberation, temporary happiness from sickness, but also to be cause for the ultimate liberations from entire oceans of samsaric existence, and it is causes the karma and delusion, and to actualize state of perfect full enlightenment, which is also for the benefit of numberless sentient beings. So in order to do that, then the practice should develop on the basis of proper refuge practice, refuge in Guru Buddha Dhamma Sangha, and the virtues, the virtue to be absolute cause for numberless sentient beings' benefit. Then this prayer should conduct on the basis of altruistic intention, bodhicitta intention. Then at the end, making sure that this great amount of accumulation of virtues to be most effective and not to be wasted by negative emotions like anger, and the virtue that we collectively, individually accumulate be like the wish-granting jewel, the ultimate wish-granting jewel. The virtue's impact and never to be seized, and virtue's impact from this practice to be beneficial up to the entire numberless sentient beings' state of full enlightenment. So we will conclude with dedications in bodhicitta, as well as seal the merit with the emptiness, dedication in emptiness. So the prayer is very simple, similar like what we did in last the prayer session. After the refuge and bodhicitta motivation, we will recite the 21 Taras praises together, maybe about 3 rounds. Then we will recite the abbreviated Taras prayer, then Tara mantra, then the prayers of benefit of the Taras practice. And this one is specifically dedicated to be efficient in actualizing the diagnosis of anyone who suffering from COVID, and actualize swiftly all the necessary treatments. As we all know from the news, like in India, and starting to experience similar in Nepal, a lacking of ventilation, lacking of oxygen, and just because of that, there are so many people are dying in India. So we pray to Mother Tara to all the activities of the medical needs to be most efficient, most effective, and most complete and actualized timely. Because of Tara is the numberless past, present, future Buddhas embodiment of activities. And then after that we will do 7 rounds of recitations of the Medicine Buddha's name Dharani. And then after that we'll recite the Medicine Buddha's name mantra. And this is specifically dedicating us all the treatment to be most effective and actualize swift recovery from the treatments, since the Medicine Buddha is numberless past, present, future Buddhas embodiment of healing. The healing take most effective, and around the world, like yourself, offering prayers, offering condolences, offering virtuous accumulations, to all those who are in need, those who are suffering. So not just we are praying, but the prayer should be most effective. Prayers to be conducive conditions to bring about effectiveness in the treatments, and able to actualize recovery, etc. So for that purpose, then we do the medicine Buddha practice. Then after that, we will do the Compassionate Buddha's cherished mantra recitation. This is specifically dedicating to anyone that who pass away, in particularly those who pass away due to COVID in last 49 days, or in last since the pandemic started, and in particularly in last 49 days, to overcome the suffering of death, suffering of intermediate state, suffering of rebirth, and actualize in the fortunate realm, and there they meet perfect mind guru, and right there within that very lifetime, they actualize state of full enlightenment. Then after that, we will do the Tonglen meditation in relation to the verses in Guru Puja. So while meditating on Tonglen, then we recite the practice. Then after that, we will conclude with dedication. So okay, so like that. So if in case there are any newcomers here, then I will read the refuge prayers in English one time. Then after that, 2 rounds recitation in Tibetan. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my merit from giving and other perfections, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Yeah, so develop full conviction, understanding the omniscient capabilities of enlightened beings, feel absolute, presence of Guru Buddha Dhamma Sangha. And, through the sincere voice of calling of this refuge practice, brings about absolute protection to everyone who are suffering from this this disease. Sangye chaya dang zoye choya namaya la chaya joya baya doya daya ni jabaya zoye Dai ye zo ye be zo ya nama ye do la pe je ya san ye do bara Sangye jadaya zoye joya namaya la chay joya baya doya daya ni jabaya zoye je Dai ye zo ye be zo ya nama ye do la be je ya san ye do bara yo. Now, while reciting the 4 immeasurable thought, then try to generate as sincere, as wholehearted as possible the generation of great compassion, the altruistic intention to make this practice individually, collectively, be most powerful, most beneficial to each and everyone, starting from Geshe Thubten and the rest of the others around the world who need these prayers. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings never be separated from the happiness that knows no suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free of attachment, hatred for those held close and distant. Semje damje dewa dan deve judan dembra juje semje damje dunga dan dunga je judan dawra juje semje damje dunga mebe dewa dan midawa juje semje damje nire chada nidan rave tanyola ne bra juroj semje damje dewa dan deve judan dembra juje semje damje dunga dan dunga je judan dawra juje semje damje dunga mebe dewa dan midawa juje semje damje nire chada nidan rave tanyola ne bra juroj semje damje dewa dan deve judan dembra juje semje damje dunga dan dunga je judan dawra juje semje damje dunga mebe dewa dan midawa juje semje damje nire chada nidan rave tanyola ne bra juroj. So now visualize Mother Tara. First of all, sees the entire ordinariness, the self, the aggregates, and rest of the existence into empty. Since the absolute nature of the existence, self, and all the phenomena are lack of inherent existence. So therefore, definitely can able to seize this ordinariness into empty. From that empty, then there's a syllable tham. Then from the syllable tham, that syllable tham, which is on top of the petal lotus, then sun and moon this, then there's a syllable tham. Then from there, miraculously arise Mother Tara, green Tara, surrounded by rest of the other 20 Taras. And they are actualized within and without in every single existence. And the Taras are, in absolute, the object of our refuge, object of our merit, and one should feel that, in lively form, not just kind of statues or paintings, but in a lively form. And feel that Tara is extremely delighted that we conditioning by creating the interdependent causes and condition to actualize Tara's blessings, to heal the world, to heal the dedicated people from these COVID difficulties. Then liberate them from the suffering from the COVID, and also actualized liberation from entire oceans of samsara and its causes. So then visualize that infinite light rays emanating, to each and every single COVID patients, and as well as to each and every humanity, as well as to all the rest of the numberless sentient beings, and including the entire environment. With that light, there's a flow of infinite nectar. Then through the light rays and the nectar brings, the instant, right there, purifications of the karma, purifications of the suffering, and the pervasive suffering, the samsara, and its causes, and visualize and feel and have conviction that liberating right there and then. So you can do this visualization while reciting the 21 Tara praises. If in case you're unable to do simultaneously, then as long as you just recite it will be good enough, or you can just do the visualization. So first I will recite the invocation verses, then after that the actual 21 Tara praises. Boda la ye ne jo ne dam ye jang go le tong je wo ba me je wo la je Boda la ye ne jo ne dam ye jang go le tong je dam ye we je do wa do ma go je xie zo zo ha dang ha mi je ben je xia je ben mo la dun pong ba gun le dun ze be do ma yong la cha se lo. The Tara praises. Om je je ma ba ma do ma la cha ze lo cha za do ma nyu ma ba mo ji ne ge je lo dan da ma ji de zong go je je ja ye ge ze je wa la ne jo ma chan za den je da wa gun do ga wa je ne ze be sha Kama don do Zopa nama je rab do je wa ra ba ma chan za ze ngo je ne je je pe me chan ne na ba je ma jin ba zun do ka do je wa Zopa sam de je ni ma chan za de jin je be zo do Daye namba jeva jema ma le baro jimba do be jeve se je jindo de ma chaza do da rong ye je de da joda nam ga ga ma jide do bo sha bien ne de lo ba me ba go ba ne ma chanza je je me la zang ba lo la na zo wan jo je ma jumbo ro lan de zan na ma da ne je so je de ne de ma chanza de je cha da be je paro dung go rab do jo ma ye jo ye ga sha bien ne de Meba doba jendo ba ma janza dure chi pa chen bo de je pa wo nam pa jo ma che je chen ne chen ne den je da bo tam je ma le se ma chan za kun jo sum jo cha ji Samo do ga nam pa je ma ma le chen chen go lo je be ran je we je zo na do ma janza ra do ga wa je be we je chen wa be ma shin ba ro je do da ra ye do da je de wan jo ze ma chan za za je chen we zo na Tamje Kopan no ma nye ma do nye yo wa ye je hon je poma tamje namba do ma chanza da we de wo je pa tamje shin do ba ma ra be te ne o ba me le ta ba shin do wa ra ze chanza ka we da we me da ma we de we wo na ne ma ye ja ye go ko ne go we da ye bo ne na ba jo ma chanza za je go la cha je de je ne je cha je do ma cho nye jin ze ye je hon je re ba do mo nam ne je ma Chanza de ma je ma je ma nyenge de je je nye ma so om da yang da den be de ba je ma nye ma chanza ko ne ko rang ga we da ye lu ne rab do je ma yi je je be ma ne ko we ri ba hon ne da ma nye chanza do re ja ne da be hon je na be za be nye ma re da men da ra da be je ji de so na yo wa nye ma chanza la ye zo ya na be re da je ja da na ma ta ra ni je be je ye Dona ma le ba ne se ma chanza la ye zona ja bo la da mi a je de ma ko ne ko ja ga wa je 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 da me la ne ba se ma chanza ne ma da wa je Chin ye ba la ra se ma ha ra ni je da da ra ye shin do da ba re ne se ma chanza de ne zon da go we je ve do da ya da de ma da na ro la no je zo na ju ba do re ra je ni ma za we nga je do ba de da chanza wa ne ni shu za je Om je je ma ba ma do ma la ja za lo ja da do ma nyu ma ba mo je ne ge ja la da da ma je de zong go je je sha je ge je ja wa la ne jo ma jan za dun je da wa gun do ga wa je ne je be sha Ka ma do do zo ba na ma je ra do je wa ra ba ma jan za zong go je ne je je be me ja ne na ba je ma je ba zun de ga do je wa zo ba zam de je ne ma jan za de je je be zo do Taya namba jeba jama mali baro jeba dobe jebe seje shendo dema janda do darawa ye je do da joda nanga kama jiden do bo jebye ne de loba me ba go ba ne ma janda je je me la samba lola na zo wan jo jama Jambora la de za nama da ne je su je de ne de ma janda de je jana be je baro dongora do jama ye ja ya ga je ne de me ba do ba shendo ba ma janda do re je ba shembo Doje bawa namba jama jeje jane tonye denze rabo tamje male sema chanza kunjo sumjo janye sema toga namba jema male jeje ngolo jembe ranje weje sonandro chanza rato ngawa jembe weje tawa bema jebara je dodara ye dodaji dewandu zema chanza saje jeme so nama tamje kuba nama nyem Tanya yawa ye wanje pomba tamje namba jama chanza David bo je jeba tamje shendo ba ma rabete ne oba mele taba shindo razem chanza gawe dawe me da bawe tewe wana ne ma ye ja ye ko ne go we da ye bo ne namba jama chanza za je ngala cha je de je ne je sha je de ma tanya zenze ye je wanje Reba dumbo namne je ma chanza de ma je ma je ma nyinge de je je nye ma som da yang da de be de ba je ma nye ma chanza kunen korang ka be da ye lu ne na du je ma ye je be nga ne go ye re bon le do ma nye ma chanza du re chan ne da be hun je na be sa be nye ma re da me da ra da be je de so na yo wa nye ma chanza la ye so ya na be Elala je chada nama dara ni je pe je ye je de nama le pa ne se ma chanda la ye zona ja bo la da mi je de ma ku ne ko jang ka wa je da me la nye ba se ma chanda ni ma da wa je pe je nye ba la ora se ara ni je do da ra ye je do da ba re ne se ma chanda de ni zona ko we shi we do da yang da de ma do da ra la ne je zona je ba de ra je nye ma za we nga je do ba de Janza wane nye shu za ji om je ze ma pa ma dra ma la cha ze lo chanza dra ma nye ma pa mo je ne ke je lo da dra ma je de so bo je ye sha je ke ze ja wan ne jo chanza de je da wa gen do ka wa je ne ze be sha ma ka ma ton da zo ba na ma je ra do je be wa ra ba ra ma chanza ze mo je ne je pe me cha ne na ba je ma je ba ze de ka do je wa ze ba sam de je nye chanza de je je be zo do ta ye na ba je ba je ma de ba ro jin ba do be je be se je shin do de ma chanza do da ra o ye je do da jo da nang ga ga ma je den do bo je bien ne de lo ba me ba ko ba ne chanza je je me la zang ba lo la na zo wan je je ma ju bo ro la de za na ma da ne je je de ne de ma chanza de je ja da be je ba ro dong go ra do jo ma ye ja ye ko je je ne de me ba do ba shin do ba ma chanza do re je ba je bo de je ba wa na ba jo 世界上的专业的这大部分节目的这嘛，讲到工作中就讲的，什么都可能不接嘛，嘛的这些高楼前呗，让结尾的做那做嘛，讲到了都搞完接，为这正话呗嘛，先把那些都打了也，都打起电话就这嘛，讲到这些讲没错，那么他们这过吧那么年嘛，春节要个也就过节，恐怕他们就那么多。 chanza dawe de wo wo je je ba tam ji chin do ba ma ra be de ne o ba me le ta ba chin do ra je ma chanza ga be da we me da ba we de we wa na ne ma ye ja yu ko ku ne ko ji da ye bu ne na ba jo chanza za je mo la ja je de je ne je sha je do ma thon ye zen ze ye je wo je re ba de mo na ne je ma chanza de ma je ma ni nge de je je ne ma so da yang da de Deva jamba jamba nye ma janda kune kura gawe daya lo ne rabdo nye ma yije jebe nga ne kuro ge daya riba unle doma nye ma janda dure chane dabe hunye na be zabe nye Reda menda rata be je jide sona yawa nye ma janda la ye zaya na be reda da je chada na ma tara nye je be je ye je do na ma le pa ne ze ma janda la ye zona jaw Anamye je de ma kuni ko janga wa je je janda me la nye ma ze ma chaza nye ma da wa je be je nye pa la ra ze ma hara nye je do da ra ye shin do da ba re ne ze chaza de je zo na go we shi we do da yang da de ma do da ra la na je jo na ju ba do re ra je nye ma za we nga je do ba de da chaza wa ne nye jo za e je. So now we recite the abbreviated 21 Thara phrases that composed by Jo Atisha, Lama Atisha. So this prayer is composed while Adisha was residing at Nyatang. Then there's one master, Lekpe Sherab, suddenly got sick. Then the Adisha's hard disciple, the Domdamba, requested Adisha to offer prayers. Then Adisha make a special supplication to Mother Tara. Then Mother Tara, in fact, spoken these prayers. Then the Lekpe Sherab was recovered. So due to such a blessed prayer that composed, spoken by Tara herself, and in particularly dedicated to heal the sickness, regarded, is one of the most effective practices in order to overcome, such kind of pandemics, such kind of sicknesses. His Holiness the Dalai Lama, from the beginning of this pandemic, recommended to practice Mother Tara, recite Tara prayers, Tara praises, Tara mantras, which His Holiness emphasized would be most beneficial. So, following Guru's advice and also understanding the legend or the history of this practice, and with full conviction and refuge in Mother Tara, and recite these prayers for 21 times. Namo Arya Tareye Omo Jamde Dema Lamo Doma La Cha Se Lo Chanza Doma Dare Ba Mo Dudara Ejigun Sema Dure Dena Tam Jeterama Soa Ige Chula Rabado Omo Jamde Dema Lamo Doma La Cha Se Chanza Doma Dure Ba Mo Dudara Ejigun Sema Dure Dena Tam Jeterama Soa Ige Chula Rabado Omo Jamde Dema Lamo Doma La Cha Se Lo Chanza Doma Dure Ba Mo Dudara Ejigun Sema Dure Nadam Jeterama, so I get you Lavado, Omojum de Malamo Dromala, Zelo, Chanza Droma Dure Bamo, Dudara Ejugusema, Dure Denatam Jeteram, so I get you Lavado, Omojum de Malamo Dromala, Zelo, Chanza Droma Dure Bamo, Dudara Ejugusema, Dure Denatam Jeterama, so I get you Lavado. Omojum de Malamo Dromala, Zelo, Chanza Droma Dure Bamo, Dudara Ejugusema, Dure Denatam Jeterama, so I get you Lavado, Omojum de Malamo Dromala, Chanza Droma Dure Bamo, Dudara Ejugusema, Dure Denatam Jeterama, so I get you Lavado, Omojum de Malamo Dromala, Zelo, Chanza Droma Dure Bamo, Dudara Ejugusema, Dure Denatam Jeterama. So I get you la rabba do omajum de malamo mala cha zelo chanza do matare bamo to dara ejigun selma to re dena tam jeterama. So I get you la rabba do omajum de malamo mala cha zelo chanza do matare bamo to dara ejigun selma to re dena tam jeterama. So I get you la rabba do omajum de malamo mala cha zelo chanza do matare bamo to dara ejigun selma. Dure dena tam jeterama so I get you la rab do omajum de malamo mala cha zelo chanza do matare bamo to dara ejigun selma dure dena tam jeterama. So I get you la rab do omajum de malamo mala cha zelo chanza do matare bamo to dara ejigun selma dure dena tam jeterama. So I get you la rab do omajum de malamo mala cha zelo Chanza Doma Dare Bamo, Dudara Ejigun Selma, Dure Dena Tam Jeterama, so I get you la rabadu, Omajum de Malamo Dromala, Chai Zelo. Chanza Doma Dare Bamo, Dudara Ejigun Selma, Dure Dena Tam Jeterama, so I get you la rabadu, Omajum de Malamo Dromala, Chai Zelo. Chanza Doma Dare Bamo. Dudara Ejugan Selma, Duredan, Tamje Terma, so I get you Rabu, the Malamo Dromala, Chai, Zelo, Chanza Dromatare Pamo, Dudara Ejugan Selma. Duredan, Tamje Terma, so I get you Rabu, the Malamo Dromala, Chai, Zelo, Chanza Dromatare Pamo, Dudara Ejugan Selma, Duredan, Tamje Terma, so I get you Rabu. Jale Demala Dramala Cha Zelo Chanza Dromatare Pamo Dudara Ejigin Selma Duredana Tamje Terma so I get you Rabdu Jale Demala Dramala Cha Zel Chanza Dromatare Pamo Dudara Ejigin Selma Duredana Tamje Terma so I get you Rabdu Jale Demala Dramala Cha Zelo Chanza Dromatare Pamo Dudara Ejigin Selma Turedana Damje Terma, so I get you la rabdu, Omajunda Dama, Lama Dramala, Chan, Selo, Chanza Drama Tarepamo, Tudara Ejugan Selma. Turedana Damje Terma, so I get you la rabdu, Omajunda Dama, Lama Dramala, Chan, Selo, Chanza Drama Tarepamo, Tudara Ejugan Selma, Turedana Damje Terma. So I get you la rabadu, Omajunda Dama, Lama Dramala, Chan, Selo, Chanza Drama Tarepamo, Tudara Ejugan Selma, Turedana Damje Terma. So I get you la rabadu, Omajunda Dama, Lama Dramala, Chan, Selo. Chaza Rama Dare Bamo, Dudare Jigun Selma, Duredana Tamje Derma, so I get you la rabdu, Jundema Hamudramala, Chai Zelo, Chaza Rama Dare Bamo, Dudare Jigun Selma, Duredana Tamje Derma. So I get you la rabdu, Jundema Hamudramala, Chai Zelo, Chaza Rama Dare Bamo, Dudare Jigun Selma, Duredana Tamje Derma. So I get you la rabdu. So now we recite the Tara mantra. Om dare du dare du re zo, 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 om dare du dare du re zo. So today I will recite, we recite quietly and try to do the visualization of Tara and emanating the infinite light and nectars and purifying the sufferings and liberating the suffering beings in the state of the Mother Tara's enlightenment. Om Dare, Do Dare, Dure, So Om Dare. Om dare do dare do res, om dare do dare do res, om dare do dare do res. Om dare do dare do res, 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 om dare do dare do res. So, so if you have the text, the benefit of the Tronavantara presence, then you can recite that. Otherwise, you do strong dedication as how we motivate at the beginning while reciting these prayers. Namo lago yanda dembe lo de gange rabde jebe soda dora lambra jene dembe meje tamje rabde deba tamje rabdo je wa ngendo tamje jomba ni do yawa je wa tha do namje nyu do wa ne go wa ju la dele je wa ni ne to je sanje go ban ta do de do de de ne ta bo je bo de ne ba shin do Sabadane do wa nye ja de bera do se wa ni do den da re na de je se ve do nga zo ne nam ba bon de sem je chen ba nam la yang wo ni zo den do ngo bra je ne bu de ba ne bu do ju ne de ba ne na na nye do de ba tam je do bra je je na me je zo zo jom ju ro je Je ba ma do ma da jo jo de zong jo ba ye ja wa ze je tam je la ku ne da me ja je wo me do de ba ma me ze sha ze ro mo la so ba ngo jam yi je zhen ne bo pa be chan nam xie zo do ma me ne da de ba mi ge jo da ze me nga ze ne ni mo wa jo be de ba tam je sha ba je ni de ran ja chang jo zo so zo je wo la so be de zo je wa ji za be so nam la ne da ye Semje namje samba da loye jeda jeda wa jeda de mo de ba ye che je ko lo ko do zo ko wa je ze ma do ba ni nge me de do je ye do nga ya zo je wa ye semje nam la se zo zo da ge so nam che sa ba tham je chan jo 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 ne re bo me do do wa ye den be ma do da jo je 제제 점대다 마도 제자 나나 다예 semje tamje je dimye janje zonye nyu zone zobe sanje do bra je do zo de ma도 je chara gun do ya hada mi de wa chodo me tamje jembar do ba je ba la par je de je rim da ne las de me je wa jo ba na zo da me lam nyen da chema nyen ba da je ba ja zo nye wa je wa na nyu do je je me bra je do zo ji de le ne de ba ye ta je de le pu zon so ba na pe jin je be do na ma le Peme lunje dobra ze do zo do la zum je tam je pe wa da da do je do sha je tong wa da do ni den do chang se rim bo je yang wo da da be je ja bra ze ja we jin bo sa je ka wa de pe ngo dam ba shin do ze le na wa da ye ja we ngo zon do long de ba yang da je de do sho da je za ra ngo ne dwe be la de zum san je gun je ti le ma gun jo sa je chan ye nyu Nhớ giờ mà giờ bán năm giờ đại giờ cho chạy hơn đó mà giờ có chế độ đó có đạo có chế chế độ sinh cảm đó chế chế chân giờ sản xuất chế độ và chế độ có nào đó rồi trong quá trình chế độ đối chế số và đặc biệt đó rồi càng多那边在这点那到微博到最起码的chế độ đại diện别话制度giờว่าเดียนตัวตามพม่าจมาดูเนตัวว่าจะจังมาเลยบ้านเดียซาลางก็บารายจู So now visualize and understand that the Mother Tara that we have actualized as our refuge field and merit field. Now that Mother Tara completely entire it is interage, observe into Guru Medicine Buddha and become oneness. And here you visualize vividly, clearly, single-pointedly, the absolute medicine Buddha, and it is interage. It is a retinue of the entire past, present, future Buddhas and the deities. Actualize as object of our merit field and the refuge field. Then similar like before, visualize infinite light rays and the nectar that emanate to each and every single numberless sentient beings, and in particular this very stage to all the patients, starting from Geshe Thubten and rest of the other who are COVID patients, and instantly bring the healing, and all the treatment become most effective, and immediately actualize the recovery, and also emanate the light and the nectar to each and every one of those who are not contracted by COVID, through the power of the medicine Buddha, bring about the shield of the protection, never to be infected. And at the same time, actualize all the conducive conditions for them to care for those, who are suffering, with full protection for themselves. 도제 고라 녀베 점된데 천점대 병인도 등에서 뒤좀내서 상계명계라 면도 야예라 차세로 medicine Buddha's name Dharani. 좀된데 대신 잡아다 좀봐 양다바 조배산 예명계라 면도 야외제 잡아라 차살로 최대 자존시고 진계랍도서 좀된데 대신 잡아다 좀봐 양다바 조배산 예명계라 면도 야외제 잡아라 차살로 최대 자존시고 진계랍도서 좀 대대 잡아다 좀 봐야한다고 저배산 예민이라 비대야 왜 제자보라 자산로 주도자서 저 진jelab도서 좀 대대 잡아다 좀 봐야한다고 저배산 예민이라 비대야 왜 제자보라 자산로 주도자서 저 진jelab도서 좀 대대 잡아다 좀 봐야한다고 저배산 예민이라 비대야 왜 제자보라 자산로 주도자서 저 진jelab도서 좀 대대 잡아다 좀 봐야한다고 저배산 예민이라 비대야 왜 제자보라 자산로 주도자서 저 진jelab도서 좀 대대 잡아다 좀 봐야한다고 저배산 예민이라 비대야 왜 제자보라 자산로 주도자서 저 진jelab도서 좀 대대 잡아다 좀 봐야한다고 저배산 예민이라 비대야 왜 제자보라 자산로 주도자서 저 진jelab도서 좀 대대 잡아다 좀 봐야한다고 저배산 예민이라 비대야 왜 제자보라 자산로 주도자서 저 진jelab도서 Then we will recite the Medicine Buddha's mantra. So again, if you can do simultaneous visualizations of healing while reciting the mantra, that would be great. If not, then either focus on recitation of mantra or the visualization. Starting from Geshe Thubten Sherab, Geshe Jimba, Tenzin Palmo, Siring Tashi, and Thubten Lamsang, and rest of the other who are infected by COVID, in Kopan monastery, nunnery, and any other monasteries, nunneries around the world, and any other people in India, Nepal, and every places around the world, receive this healing. And as I mentioned before, also do focus on sending the protection shield of the healing blessing from Medicine Buddha to all the carers, and the doctors and the nurses, and all the carers around the world, to be fully protected and equipped with all the conducive conditions for them to be able to care perfectly to the needy ones. Tayata beganze ma beganze ranza samunga de soha. 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 Yeah, and also to keep in our dedication of this practice for those who are suffering from cancer, suffering from epilepsy, suffering from dementia, suffering from hallucinations, suffering from strokes, whatever, physical and mental sufferings, and whatever difficulties, financial difficulties, relationship difficulties. So whatever adversities that sentient beings are facing to be overcome. And also keep in mind all the rest of the animals, the bacteria, in particularly in the places where there's bushfires, where there's a natural disasters, from where there's so many animals they dies, and experience so much fear. So we keep each and every one of them in our heart. Then, of course, do keep in our heart the rest of the animals, like those who are in the food chain, and those and also the hell, hungry ghosts, hell beings, gods and demigods. As long as anyone who are subject or under the condemnation of karma and delusion, which makes samsara, which makes the existence of pervasive suffering. And each and every one of them are our object of compassion, our object of praise dedication, and the healing dedication. Taya ta om beganze ma beganze randa samuga de so ha taya ta om beganze ma beganze. Taya ta om beganze ma beganze samuga de so taya ta om beganze. Taya ta om beganze ma beganze ranza samunga de so ha taya ta om beganze ma beganze ranza samunga de so taya ta om beganze ma beganze ranza samunga de so ha taya ta om beganze ma beganze ranza samunga de so. So to dedicate accordingly. Yawande nyodo da membe jabo drupyo ne dowa jijang malwe ba deye sala go barai yo. Semje ne ba jinye ba nyudo ne le ta ju je do we ne ma le ba ta do jung me ba rai. So now you visualize and understand that the medicine Buddha, who is oneness with Mother Tara, dissolve and become oneness with compassionate Buddha Chenrezig. Then actualize clearly the entire the mandala, entire the retinue of the past, present, future Buddhas together in every single existence, within us, around us, above us, and onto each and every single numberless sentient beings. Then visualize infinite light rays and the nectar, a similar way as before, emanate to each and every single the COVID patients and the rest of the other samsaric beings, and in particularly to those who are going through the process of death, process of intermediate state, and process of rebirth, to overcome the suffering of hallucinations. Then give them, the light of wisdom and virtuous attitude, where they can able to complete, the concluding karma in virtue, so that they can able to actualize in higher rebirth in future lifetimes, and protect from the hallucinational, the sufferings in the true intermediate state, and steadily can able to place their focus on the virtues, wisdom, and attitudes like altruism, so that they can able to actualize, rebirth in higher rebirths, where they can meet virtuous, perfect virtuous master, and there, the actualized state of the compassionate Buddha cherishes enlightenment. Yeah. So you visualize this light. Those of you want to hold candles, so you can do so. Otherwise, wherever you offer the lights, you just visualize them as the light that illuminating the darkness from this pandemic, darkness from it is causes the ignorance, the delusions, and the karma. Visualize and understand, in the nature of voidness of inherent, this light actualize infinite illuminating light in the nature of wisdom of emptiness. You can also visualize the lights of the sun, moon, stars, and the light that you own in your house, the lights that are on in the streets, in the cities. So visualize each and every one of them, entirety of the universe and entirety of the consciousness of the every single living beings, completely illuminate the light of virtue, the light of wisdom of emptiness, the light of the attitude of loving kindness, compassion, understanding, etc. So that even those who are, even those like patients, COVID patients, that they can able to, utilize the virtuous mind to heal themselves, to protect from the anxiety and the confusion and the sufferings. Then the merit, through these practices, take effect of those treatments, like such as medicines, become so effective, instantly bring about the healing of the pain. Then those who are in the needs of oxygens and ventilations and medicines and doctors and hospital beds, actualize everything timely. Those who are fortunate one, like including those countries, who are fortunate or from the COVID crisis, and those individual families, those who are fortunate, they are not contracted, but also they have the medical equipments or financial supports, or moral supports or prayer supports. Then even in the communities, those who are not contracted with the COVID, every one of them, they feel each other, especially to those who are suffering, more dear than your own life, more dear than your own heart, and able to care for them, So each and everyone, whatever position they are, everyone, illuminate through this practice of light offering, illuminate the light of loving kindness, compassion, and wisdom. and every, there's no one who is left out, from the care. There's no one who is left out, feeling lonely, abandoned, like that. Everyone is cared. Everyone is helping each other in the needs. Kenje mago gundo gara zosan ye wela ye tuje chenje dola ze chere zela sowa chadong golo yue yabo dan jendong gawa sambu sanje dong gala gande de la de ba somba chere zela cha zelo. Oy mani be me 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 Oh, my near be me, 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 oh, my ni ay be me my ni ay be me oh 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 my ni ay be me. So we will recite a few numbers of Om Mani Padme Hum silently, and here you do wholehearted and sincere visualizations and the dedications, as I guided before, that this practice will illuminate the heart of every single sentient being, from the darkness of ignorance, darkness of delusion, darkness of suffering, of pervasive suffering, darkness of suffering of change, suffering of pain, and in particularly this very time, the entire humanity, illuminate and liberate, be free from the darkness of this pandemic. And entire humanity, actualize full of love, compassion, caring, generosity to help each other. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Specifically, try to visualize what you saw in the news, what you saw in the pictures, what you know, that so many people died, cremated, that in India, in Nepal, in other part of the countries, through this COVID. Keep them in our heart and generate sincere and wholehearted compassion, and send this metta to liberate them from entire sufferings and causes of suffering, and abide them in the state of absolute, in the enlightened state of the compassionate Buddha. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. then dedicate accordingly. How we motivate before. Yawa de nyodo da chere ziwan dujuro ne dowa jeyang malu ba de salang bara. Okay, so now we do short meditation on Tonglen practice, practice of giving and taking. So try your very best in the nature of emptiness, in the attitude of altruism. Then entire your body, speech, and mind, entire virtues of the past, present, and future, entire goodness, including the whatever comfort and fortune that we have, everything, everything, channel, through the frequency of all the prayer that we have done, through the channel of the frequencies of the Mother Tara, Medicine Buddha, and cherished, and through the channel of frequency of your great compassion to each and every one of the suffering beings. You give, you send, without any holding back, without any sense of miserliness, wholeheartedly, in the form of whatever sentient being needs, those who need medicine, it become medicine. Those who need care, it become care. Those who need hospital, it become hospital. Those who need, life, it become, force of life. So whatever benefit that sentient being need, and in particularly here, whatever the COVID patients and or the carers, whatever needs, your merit and yourself become such a wish fulfilling gem to them. Then you take the entire numberless sentient beings suffering and its causes onto yourself, ripen upon one's own self-grasping and self-cherishing attitude. Then bring about absolute, elimination of the root cause of this samsara, this difficulty, which is the ignorant and the delusions and the karma. So, yeah. So, yeah. Every adversities, that sentient beings are going through, in the form, you can visualize in the form of black soot, in the form of dark smokes, in the form of dark liquids, in the form of blood and pus. So whatever, you can afford to visualize, in short, in the voidness of inherent nature, then in the power of bodhicitta or altruism, that when you take it, instantly, you just have a full confidence that ripen upon the one's, self-grasping and self-cherishing attitude, and bring about absolute purification in those suffering sentient beings, and all whatever that you have offer charity, offer giving, to everything, arrive and ripen right then and there. So it should have confidence. The stronger the confidence, the stronger the conviction and the faith that you have, and this practice become more effective, like that. So those of you who have the text from the Lama Chöpa LC 95, then we can recite together. So while reciting, then you can meditate. Okay. So first, just to understand the meaning, I'll read in English first. And thus, perfect, pure, compassionate Guru, I seek your blessing that all negative karmas, obscurations, and sufferings of mother transmigratory beings may without exception ripen upon me right now, and that by giving my happiness and virtues to others, all transmigratory beings may experience happiness. So here in particularly, this Tonglen practice that we can do under the blessing of the Guru. So you visualize the compassionate Buddha and the Mother Tara medicine Buddha in absolute in the Guru form of in the Guru, like His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Kyabchen Lama Suparinpoche. Then those of all the students of Geshe Thubten Sherab, you visualize Geshe-la. No, then you can visualize any of your gurus who is inseparable, who is no different than the Buddhas and the deities. So you visualize and bring the absolute effectiveness of this practice of Tonglen. Thank you. Okay, so now we do dedication. Dedicate in bodhicitta and dedicate in emptiness. And then, with a general dedication for all numberless sentient beings' well-being, and specifically dedicate this practice, this session, to the swift and full recovery and good health and long life of Geshe Thubten Sherab, Geshe Jimba, Tenzin Palmo, Sering Tashi, Thubten Lamsang, and rest of the other COVID patients around the world. And also dedicate specifically to all the carers, all the carers in the monastery, in the Kopan monastery, in the nunnery, all the rest of the sanghas, and all the sanghas around the world, and all the humanity around the world, to be protected from the COVID and enjoy perfect health and long life and fulfill all the aspirations up to enlightenment. And also dedicate this specifically to the perfect health, long life, and fulfillment of all the aspirations of most precious Guru, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Kyabje Lama Sopa Rinpoche, and all your spiritual gurus, and all the people who are source of peace and happiness of the world, have a long, stable life and fulfill their wishes. May this collective merit and that we accumulate through this session, and all the individual, the collection of merit, through your past, present Dharma practices, prayers, virtues, be complete cause for numberless sentient beings to be free from oceans of samsaric suffering and its causes, karma and delusion, and actualize from temporary happiness up to the ultimate happiness of enlightenment. May this collective merit be a complete cause these pandemics to be end right now, right this very moment, and entire humanity be free from the pandemics and all the other sicknesses, all the other adversities that people are going through. May this collective merit be a complete cause for entire humanity be protected from pandemic and all the rest of the other diseases and adversity. May this collective merit be a complete cause for all the world leaders and the leaders of the organizations and the leaders of the communities and leaders of the family and yourself who lead your life free, be absolute free from ignorance, free from delusions, and free from negativities, and equipped with complete, full of great compassion, love, care, generosity, empathy, kindness, and the wisdom of selfless, so that anyone under their leadership can able to enjoy virtues, peace, and happiness, and care like that. May this collective merit be complete cause. All the virtuous institutions, like such as the great monasteries, great nunneries, in here, the particularly Kopan monastery, Kopan nunnery, then all the other virtuous institutions like all the FPMT centers, FPMT study groups, and projects, and all the other Dharma organizations, virtuous organizations, in particularly, yes, for the Dharma organizations, to be free from all the inner outer secret obstacles and actualize all the conducive conditions to actualize perfect preservation of Buddha Dharma in extensive learning and actualizations of the realization on the path, up to a state of full enlightenment accordingly. May this collective merit be complete cause for each and every one of us, be the source, like the wish-fulfilling jewel to each and every single numberless sentient beings. May each and every one of our life, entire our existence, be complete, absolute in the virtuous service to the rest of the numberless sentient beings. And starting from, the nearest beings around you. That could be your spouse, that could be your children, that could be your parents, grandparents, that could be your pets, dogs, cats. And if you are alone, and that could be you, that could be yourself. Be able to take care correctly, take care virtually, means able to take care with full of genuine love and compassion, then that expand to the rest of the numberless sentient beings. In short, may this collective merit be complete cause, as like how Shantideva dedicated his life for the benefit of numberless sentient beings, temporary happiness after the ultimate happiness, enlightenment. May we too, as long as sentient beings remain, may I too remain to dispel the sufferings and abide each and every single numberless sentient being in the state of happiness after the everlasting happiness of full enlightenment, according. Yeah, so due to the merit of this virtuous action, may I quickly attain the state of a Guru Buddha and lead all living beings without exception into the enlightened state. May the precious supreme bodhicitta not yet born arise, may that arise not decline, but increase more and more. May the precious view of emptiness not yet born arise, may that arise and not decline, but increase more and more. May the yoga of 2 stages of the Tantra not yet born arise, may that arise and not decline, but increase more and more. I fully dedicate all these virtues to be able to train just like the hero Manjushri, who knows reality, and just like the Samantabhadra as well. I dedicate all these root of virtues with the dedication praised as the best by the victorious ones, thus gone of the 3 times, so I might perform good works. Jawade nyu do da la ma san je do jo ne do wa je ja ma le ba de ye sa la ge ba jo chang jo se jo re bo je ma je ba na ma je jo Bai nya bai me bai ya go ne go do pe warai yo Tonye da wai rin boi je mai je ba na mai je yuroi je bai nya bai me bai ya go ne go do pe warai yo Renye da wai rin boi je mai je ba na mai je yuro je ye ba nya ba me ba ya go ne go do pe wa Kare ra ve go ve xin ga ma de pen da de wa ma le jong ve ne che re se wa de jian jia zuo yi xia be se de wa du de yu ru ji tu se cha xie jiang ge jia ve de 见joy be we ku ze do bo ye choi zo gu we le me tu zhuo ba da zo de jie gu do xia de yo jiang be ba we jie da jian ba da gu do zang bo de ya de jian de 大大根结结做大罗结，结外的大他们结绕多么，这种些别叫我他们结结，我刚来就多我白的。 大姐姐别早我的国家，三伯姐姐绕多我来也。帕玛三姐堂姐天堂的玉罗姐，念着他们姐大多东外当，将就三伯刚来做学霸。 Đề đà quyên chế mơ lai rô yu rô chế Xem chế nè bái chế nhẹ bái Nyo đô nè lè thà yu chế Đô vê nè nè ma lè bái Tà đô chung vái mẹ bái Bè đàn zô vái miên gơ bè Yé chế nô bò bà sāi chế 先贤人外观这边，三百之间这边在些哟，今天的见小巴扎，就把羊到把这边上去，那么能在外地小巴拉长，走路讲究人把全部工作上巴拉长。 大家到我们本这里啊，我不等你做，我们多了在俺们就做啊。大家到我们这里啊，我不等你做，我们多了在俺们就做啊。大家到我们这里啊，我不等你做，我们多了在俺们就做。大家到我们这里啊，我不等你做，我们多了在俺们就做。大家到我们这里啊，我不等你做，我们多了在俺们就做。大家到我们这里啊，我不等你做，我们多了在俺们就做。大家到我们这里啊，我不等你做，我们多了在俺们就做。大家到我们这里啊，我不等你做，我们多了在俺们就做。大家到我们这里啊，我不等你做。 我们多了在俺们就做，大家到本子里啊，不得那种多了在俺们就做，大家到本子里啊，不得那种多了在俺们就做。中天的地震叫把这就把杨导把这边上前面去了，别对呀，外地叫不拉差，走了中天的地震叫把这就把杨导把这边上去，我到我啷顿去，那不这边叫不拉差这路。 每周这些教育见了他等着路啊，没别的嘛，那大家拉上那边的都那么大，没别那个走不就路。 你们的来，真的来，你们供养的来，今年真大多的来，别工作送给大些哟。Then dedicate in emptiness. The dedicate ourselves, the merit, and the purpose that we dedicate, all lies in the nature of lack of inherent existence, lack of true existence, lack of intrinsic existence. All lies in the nature of interdependent existence. So, since the nature lies in the the object of our prayers, the merit, the self and others, the samsara and liberation, everything lies in the nature of lack of inherent existence. Everything lies in the nature of interdependent existence. Therefore, our prayers, our practices also will definitely bring impact, beneficial impact accordingly. So take a moment to rejoice that your participation in this practice, that within this short period of time that each and every one of us able to reach out to entire numberless sentient beings, with complete pure motivation, pure altruistic practice, and pure dedication, completely free from stain of self-grasping, and completely infused by altruism. So it's such a profound, vast, infinite virtue, in particularly in the most in needs time to the humanity. That how wonderful that our life become useful in that way. And with this heart of rejoicement, then even though we collectively, we once in a while do such practice, but then individually, we do daily by ourselves. I'm trying my best to do that, and each and every one of you try your best to do that way. And also, every Saturday, the prayer marathon under the precious advice from our most precious Guru, Gyaltsen Lama Sopa Rinpoche, from the very beginning of the pandemic, started the I Am Sangha to lead, to conduct this, weekly, the 24 hours of prayer-thon or the prayer marathon based on the Tanglen Gyalbo's practice, which is regarded one of the most powerful, most effective, to heal, such pandemics. So those of you who are leading such practice, we rejoice here. And those of you who are participating in those practices, we rejoice here. And in case there are individuals who do not know about this prayer-thon every Saturday, then you can join, this prayer marathon, and you can participate in those practices and dedicate as like how we dedicate today, and we dedicate accordingly how Gyaltsen Lama Sopa Rinpoche would dedicate to the benefit of the rest of the needy ones. Yeah, so thank you very much. Thank you very much, FPMT Australia, Peter and Stephanie, for organizing this. And each and every one of you who participated, some are participating as, represent from the different centers or different individuals, in whatever way you join this practice. I express on behalf of everyone, in particular those in needs of these prayers, I thank you wholeheartedly, sincerely. So as a gift, repaying your kindness, whatever merit and practices prayer that I do in day-to-day, that I dedicate for your good health, long life, and fulfillment of all your aspirations up to enlightenment. Okay. And at the same time, please, one of the very crucial way to help to solve this pandemic problem around the world, also to protect yourself and protect your loved ones and protect the environment and protect everybody, is be extra mindful. Be more mindful than last year at the beginning of this pandemic, because this very stage around the world, the vaccines are rolling out, then people start to relax. And there are many people, they think that they able to pass through a whole year during this pandemic. Then people think that now I will be all right, and people start to relax. Because of the cures coming up, and we pay extra, mindfulness to be careful and follow this medical science, protocol to the COVID, such as social distancing, physical social distancing, the whatever, wearing masks, hygiene, etc. Whatever is implemented in your region, it is so important to follow while we are praying, while we are practicing the Dharma. You see, we as a Buddhist practitioner believe in karma, means every goodness and sufferings are product of our own action. You see, so therefore we have to create the correct karma, correct action to overcome from this pandemic. So just praying and hoping everything will be fixed by externally, and that that won't be helpful. So we need both, the prayers and practices to purify the past karma, and accumulate merit, and the carefulness and those medical science protocols through this pandemic is to create a new, conducive environment to protect from new creation of karma, like that. Okay. So thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye.